I'm super nervous. Okay. Hello, I'm Kimberly Mitchell, an assistant professor of graphic design. I'm a designer and researcher who focuses on understanding and improving the experiences that support the health and well-being of vulnerable populations, particularly among older adults. I help my community by creating accessible experiences and connecting vulnerable populations to assistive services. By nature, designers are connectors and problem solvers. Using human-centered design approaches allow us to improve services and programs by creating solutions with people rather than for them. By working directly with the people, we're able to deeply understand their needs and experiences, help generate new or reimagined ideas to meet those needs, and implement practical solutions together. Because nothing about us without us, a phrase used to communicate the idea that no policy should be decided by any representative without the full and direct participation of members of the group affected by that policy. This disability advocacy phrase was coined in the early 90s, meaning we must include the people we're designing for as part of the process. This opportunity and connection creates a deep bond between people when they feel seen and valued. Let's be honest, we're in a caregiver crisis. By 2034, there'll be more older adults aged 65 and older than there'll be under 18. It's estimated that by 2040, the caregiver workforce in the US needs to increase by 235% to meet this demand. And an estimated 85% of seniors want to age in place, meaning they want to stay home as long as possible. So designing products and services to cater to older adults is absolutely necessary, but so is designing products and services to help assist with the caregiver role. There are many age-related factors that affect older people's abilities to navigate and use products and services that we've created. To design inclusive and successful experiences for older adults, we need to understand the particularities of the users and build products that take into their account their capabilities, usage patterns, and preferences. Unfortunately, though, we have a long way to go to make more accessible experiences, services, and products. Accessible designs aren't good for just older adults, but for everyone else too. Like the curb cut effect, created for people in wheelchairs, but benefiting so many other people. Designers can create universal, accessible artifacts and experiences that can benefit all without having to sacrifice aesthetics. Unfortunately, oh yeah, here we go, sorry. Like British researcher Alan F. Newell said, design for older adults and you design for almost everyone else because there are a lot of people of all ages who have similar usability issues at one point or another, like low vision, physical impairment, low literacy, second language learners, people who don't have a lot of technical experience or have cognitive impairments. Since my arrival at UT, I have found an extremely active gerontology research group on campus where I found several collaborators. One current project I'm working on is with Dr. Zhao, who's in the audience, thank you, in biomedical engineering and creating a low-cost social robot to assist Alzheimer's and dementia patients with their activities of daily living. And because it seems like everything in engineering has to have an acronym, we've named him Fred for the friendly robot to ease dementia. By 2025, the number of people aged 65 and older with Alzheimer's and dementia is projected to reach 7.2 million, an 11% increase from those affected right now. And by 2060, this number is projected to reach 13.8 million, which is almost double. This deeply affects our caregivers. In 2021, family members and friends provided more than $271 billion of unpaid care for people living with Alzheimer's and dementia. A robot, really? Like many of you, I was hesitant too. This human connection is powerful and much needed, but the pandemic changed me. I volunteered for the Office on Aging senior care calls where I was assigned to seniors, and my responsibility was to call them twice a week to check in on them to make sure that they didn't need anything. A complete stranger calling and having conversation, learning to somehow trust each other. Having someone check in on them to make sure they hadn't fallen was the main reason these seniors signed up for this service. They were afraid they would fall and nobody would notice. While technology will never entirely replace human touch and person-centered care, technology can enhance caregiving, especially with routine tasks like organizing appointments and medication reminders. And for the patient, in interactions like playing games, telling jokes, and the ability to notify the caregiver if someone has fallen. Our interdisciplinary collaboration has been invaluable. Our team currently involves architecture, graphic design, mechanical, aerospace, biomedical engineering, electrical engineering, and computer science students and faculty, Spark Tennessee and Alzheimer's Tennessee in the creation of Fred. We currently have 2 active IRB studies. One study is user testing the feasibility and acceptability of the robot itself. We began user testing in the fall 2021 semester with college students, and through this experience learned quite a bit and have spent the last spring, summer, and fall semester revising the user interface and body of our robot. Our second study involves working directly with dementia and Alzheimer's patients, their caregivers, and healthcare professionals in the design of Fred. And as you can imagine, this took us for a bit of a ride to be approved because we're working directly with this protected audience. But I'm really excited to share with you that our first focus group will involve 10 people who have dementia or Alzheimer's diagnoses and their caregivers at Alzheimer's Tennessee on November 19th. It has never been more important to remain engaged and in touch with our loved ones. A sense of connection is closely tied to both mental and physical health. Social isolation significantly increases a person's risk of premature death and is associated with about a 50% increased risk of dementia. Fred is a game-changing resource for those aging in place to communicate with their family, friends, and caregivers, whether the message is social, health-related, or a request for help. We all want deeper, more authentic human connections, those moments of kindness and connectedness and feeling heard and understood. Charging students and researchers to be empathetic viewers in the experiences that we're creating, this is so important in what we do. Using human-centered design in our own research, creating connections with our own disciplines and bridging connections with other disciplines and sharing our unique tools. Finding community partnerships in and around Knoxville and larger communities in general have been so incredibly valuable to our project's success. Connecting within our own community and finding solutions together because nothing about us without us. Truly understanding our audience and the creation of what we're doing. This is what design is. Thank you.